Folks, I have yet another example of how the real estate market is shifting, and then I'll get into the latest home prices and insights for the City of Toronto for week ending June the 7th, 2023. Pardon the coarseness in my voice, I'm recovering from a cold, and stay tuned for at the end of this video, I have a really unique property I want to share with you. So 2 weeks ago with a buyer client, we put an offer on a property. It was offer night. There was 8 of us putting in an offer, including my client, 8 offers. We didn't get the property. A few days after that, another property in the same neighborhood, very similar to that one, got listed and had an offer night as well. That offer night was just a couple days ago. So we put an offer in on that. We were the only offer. So just in the span of 2 weeks, 2 very similar homes, 8 offers, and we were the only one on the second round, on the second property that put in an offer. You figured that was a good thing, right? That's what we thought. No, we did it. The seller chose not to sell. Seller decided their expectations were to actually get more than the other property. It wasn't on my buyer's mind to pay more, and so we couldn't come to an agreement. And the seller in the next day or so, I imagine, is going to relist. But in such a short period of time, 8 offers, 1 offer. The crazy part is really what's in the seller's mind. How come they're not seeing that there is a shift in the market? Why are they expecting more? Every seller has the prerogative to expect what they want, just like every buyer has the prerogative to pay whatever they want. And the idea is that seller and buyer can reach an agreement. In this case, we couldn't, but somehow the seller feels they should be getting more. I don't know if they're getting the wrong information, maybe they're reading the wrong headlines, maybe their realtor's giving them the wrong advice. I couldn't tell you what the exact answer is there. However, we didn't put that deal together, and that seller is expecting more, but the market has shifted in that neighborhood. If you think this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. If you get value from what I'm talking about here, subscribe. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Let's get into the numbers. Don't forget to check out this unique multifamily home at the end of this video. So the market is shifting. We're seeing it in the field, working with buyers and sellers. We're seeing it in the numbers. I'm going to show you that shortly. Why is it shifting? What's happening? Is it because interest rates just went up? And is it all just buyer mentality? Because a lot of the buyers that are buying now are pre-approved. So it's not really affecting them. However, it does affect their mindset. Is that what's causing a shift? Is it seasonality? Because we see, come summertime, there's a lull in the market that we see every year. Is that the start of what's happening? It's just a regular routine summer thing. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Let's get right into it. Here's a quick summary. Condos, prices are down. For towns, prices are down. Semis, prices went up a little bit. Detached, prices came down. This is for week ending June the 7th. We're going to start off with the City of Toronto. I've got a whole year here broken down by week. Sales are down. We went week over week from 215 to 188 sales of detached properties. Properties selling at $2 million or more are down. We went from 69 to 51. Average sold price is now $1,795,000. And you know, when you study things the way I do on a weekly basis, look, there's going to be peaks and valleys. There's going to be ups and downs on a weekly basis. So we kind of look at these numbers not as this is exactly where things are this week, but more of what's the trend that we're seeing here. And you know, when I look at this, prices for quite a bit since the middle of March have been trending upwards, but now it's been a couple of weeks they've been coming down. If prices kind of stay where they are now over the next few weeks or months, we basically would have wiped out all the gains that we've had over the last few months. 1,795,000 is 14% lower than peak pricing that we had at the beginning of last year. 14% equates to $280,000 lower than peak pricing. But our low point was July last year. We're 18% higher than where we were July over here. We're 18% higher, which is $277,000 higher than our peak pricing. So, have a look. Things are really starting to shift out there. 1,795,000 is 3% lower than where the average price was a year ago. The median price is 1% higher. And yes, for a few months now, prices have been increasing, both average and median. And I'm looking at the dotted line now, which is the 4-week moving average. But we're going to see a shift right now. It's already starting to happen. And as the 4-week moving average kind of catches up, you'll see the prices will be shifting down. Of the 188 that sold, 68% sold at list price or more. Listings are up, so more properties are coming on the market. We listed 412 detached properties for week ending June the 7th. Look at active listings, way up from the previous weeks. We're now at 1,173 active listings, properties that were available for sale midnight June the 7th. Months of inventory, we're sitting at 1.4, which is up from the previous week. When we look back to April, we were hovering around 1%. Now we're 1.4, 1.5. I said we're hovering around 1%. I meant hovering around 1 month of inventory. Now we're sitting around 1.4 months of inventory. And as months of inventory kind of increase, we will see prices coming down. Here's the city of Toronto broken down into 9 areas. East York and Scarborough equal 41% of all detached properties sold in the city of Toronto. 41%, that's a lot just for these 2 regions here. And when we kind of look around the city here, Rexdale Downsview, 75% of those properties, 81 were sold, 75% sold at list price or more. Months of inventory is 1.6. For East York, Riverdale Beaches, months of inventory is 0.7. Scarborough has a 1 month of inventory. What else here? High Park, only 7 were sold, but all of them sold at list price or more. But very different patterns, very different markets across the city of Toronto. Here are semis. Sales went way up for semis. From 49 to 87 semi-detached properties were sold. 25 of those were at $1.5 million or more. Average sold price went up a bit over the previous week to $1,397,000. 1,397 is 6% higher than where the average sold price was a year ago. And for median price, it's 5% higher than where the median price was a year ago. And looking at the dotted line, you could see prices have been going up, but it kind of looks like they're a little bit flat now and staying steady. Months of inventory came down to 0.6 months of inventory. 72% of all the semis sold at list price or more. Townhouses. Sales came down to 19 freehold townhouses that were sold. 4 of those were at $1.5 million or more. Average sold price for a couple weeks now has been coming down, sitting at $1,243,000. 1,243 is 3% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago, and the median price is 7% lower than where the median price was a year ago. And although lots of peaks and valleys, there's only a few freehold townhomes that get sold every week. If you look at the dotted line, overall, prices have been kind of steady. 1.1 is the months of inventory, and a little more than half, 58%, of townhouses that sold at list price or more. Here's condos. 306 condos were sold. That's down from the previous week of 345. So 306 were sold. 40 of those were at $1 million or more, which is also down from the previous week. 771,000 is the average sold price. And if we were to stay around that price in the coming weeks, we would have wiped out a lot of the gains that we've seen in April and May. So 771,000. 771, 7% lower than the peak price. 7% is 61,000 lower than where we were at peak pricing. But we're up 5% from our low, which is about 33,000 from the low price of detached. So, you know, depends on how you're looking at this. It depends on which part of the market you're interested in. Are you just casually just interested in knowing where numbers are, or are you active now? If you're active now, the trend that we're on right now is the most important part to you. 771 is 2% lower than where we were a year ago. If we look at the amount of condos selling at $1 million or more, this time last year, 29 were sold. This year, 40 were sold at $1 million or more. And you figure with so many more selling at $1 million or more, our average sold price would be higher than what it was a year ago. It's not, it's 2% lower. Median price is 3% lower than where we were a year ago. And prices have been trending upwards, but now we're going to see a shift. We're seeing it now. 306 were sold. Only 34%, a little bit more than a third, sold at list price or more. More listings we're seeing out there. 772 were listings. The amount of properties available for sale, so active listings, is up. And months of inventory up, sitting at 1.9 months of inventory. Here's a quick summary of all the months of inventory. Except for semis, all the months of inventory have increased, which means a little bit less competition, which means prices are starting to trend down. This is the shift that we're seeing out there. We're seeing fewer offers. You could really, especially if you're in the market and you've been in the market for a while, if you're like me as a realtor working with sellers and buyers, we can see the change. We could feel the change when we're out there working. There is a shift. Make sure you're working with somebody that has their eye on this and can advise you properly. You don't want to be caught making a mistake. It could really cost a ton of money making the wrong decisions in this market. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Check out the video now of this unique multifamily home. Before you see the inside of this home, let me tell you why it's so special. It's a large home, 8 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms. It has 9-foot and 10-foot ceilings. Each individual room has its own climate control. All those are great features to have and only come in custom-built homes. But the thing that really stands out is that this home was designed from the very beginning as a triplex. So because of that, possibilities are numerous. This home would easily suit a multi-generational family where each family can have its own private living quarters. It would easily suit a family living in the principal residence or in the principal unit and renting out the other units. It would suit an investor that wants to rent out all 3 units, and it would suit a work from home type of business where the business quarters are separate from the rest of the house. Lots of possibilities. Now back to the tour. Let me start by showing you Unit A. Unit A is a self-contained, luxurious 3-bedroom, 3-bath unit. Have a look. So this is Unit B. It's the largest of the units. It's the principal unit. Has 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. Have a look. So now you're seeing the basement, which is currently connected to Unit B, but it easily converts to a self-contained 2-bedroom, 2-bath unit with 10-foot ceilings and large windows that are all above grade.